Hello, welcome to Around the Whiteboard. We don't have a no-show. Angelo is coming, but it's hard not to make a masturbation joke there. Angelo is on his way, but he can't get his camera to work. There he is. Now he's in on his phone.
Super gay. I don't know why it does that. I think it has to do with the Wi-Fi at work, honestly. Like safety
Okay.
feature or something.
We're
Okay.
live, just FYI, because we went live before you came back. We're live now. Nice. I nearly said costume. Uniform?
Costume. Yeah,
Playing dress up. All right. Housekeeping before we get going. You can go to btwb.com. They've gotten rid of the all-in-one, apparently. And you can sign up. Look at this. Look at all this stuff to do. What's the best way to do this? There we go. Look at that. That's Angelo's crowd. Mayhem. They're there. Proven are there. Yeah. Are they? I don't know. They're on the website. Linchpin are there. We've also got some cool stuff coming up for affiliates. So if you're an affiliate owner and you're thinking about a change, now would be a very good time to swap over to be on the whiteboard. Yeah, they're great. They're just great support to me, which is nice. All right, we've got returning champions from the last round. Adrian Mundwiler from, where are you, Switzerland?
Yeah.
Cool. Nathan Bird from England but living in Paris. And Angelo Dicicco from the Cookville Fire Station. Fire Department. Yeah, cool. If an alarm goes off, do you have to go now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was wondering that too.
Nobody start any fires. I mean, at worst case scenario, your answer is going to take 60 seconds. They can wait. I mean,
no.
Fuck them. They'll be fine. All right. We've got 3 topics. We've got our timer, which is here. The way this works, we're actually like we're really close to the apex of this whole scenario here. Whoever wins this, I mean, shit luck. So especially if it's Angelo. So Angelo was on last week. If he wins, or if Adrian wins, or if Nathan win, whoever they win, have to come back next week. And then it'll be Haley Murillo and Brandon Luckett are waiting in that one. And then whoever wins that one goes straight through the next week to the overall big final, which Seth Page from Jump Ship has been waiting about 7 months for someone to make it far enough in the other bracket. So he's been waiting a long time. And Colton Mertens is the other one waiting there. So that'll be good fun. Just for DEI purposes, maybe I should just let Haley win all the way through, and then I just have a quota matched.
Sounds like
all right, we've got 3 topics. The usual rules: you got 60 seconds per topic. Why would that not zoom in a bit more for me? Oh, there we go. We've got 60 seconds per topic. Right, Adrian, you are closest to me, so you're going to go first. Augustus says hello, Angelo.
Hello.
Okay. Our first topic. There's been a lot made about the PFA and their demands and their proposals. One thing that was mentioned was programming, and that programming should be not so much standardized as much as competitions should have fair and balanced tests across the board in order to find the fittest. My question to you is, do all elite competitions need fair and balanced tests? Adrian, you got 60 seconds. Your time starts now. Off you go.
I think you need to put them apart. Like a fair test is where you have like movement standards. You have like certain rules. Everyone has the same, just the same setup for an athlete. A balance test is more like the workouts. I believe we don't need that. I believe the game season needs to be balanced, so we find the fittest on earth there. But I love, for example, Rogue is known since years that there is a lot of more heavier workouts. I would love to see more competitions where they make their own competition unique. For example, I don't know, you have a competition going on and, every year it's going to start with a 15K run or half marathon run, stuff like this. So more make unique competitions and not always balanced. Like, yes, just make it more interesting. You don't want to, it's not always the rule to find the fittest on earth. It's more like also like do CrossFit.
High rocks. You're describing high rocks there. Half marathon run. All right, Nathan, you got 60 seconds. Your time starts now. Off you go.
I think that the test should remain the same as kind of the process for CrossFit. In terms of movement standards, I think that they shouldn't be standardized in movement. It should be standardized per the competition. So if the competition wants to say that on a pull-up, the chin must pass the vertical and the horizontal line of the bar, that screws everyone up for being able to do butterfly pull-ups, for example. If athletes haven't trained kipping pull-ups rather than butterfly, that competition could hold that standard, and it makes it easier for judges to see. So I think it should be down to each competition setting clear standards and not standardizing movements. In terms of the competitions itself, I think in terms of the games route, everything needs to be tested. So they are really testing fittest on earth. That has to be a consideration. However, if like a competition was always biased heavy and a competition was always like a Metcon heavy, then potentially athletes would take particular routes to get to the games, but it's not really testing the fittest overall. So it really needs to have an overall basis of everything in competition.
Good stuff. Yeah. Easy.
I can carry
all
on
right,
if you want.
Angelo, 60 seconds. Time starts now. Off you go.
Well, fuck. Adrian had a really good response. He said everything I was gonna say. For sure, fair in every competition is very important, and to the game season, finding the fittest is very important. But he said exactly everything I was gonna say. Like Rogue makes a heavy test. Who's to say that the third party PFA comes in and says, well, we don't necessarily approve of this, but and that scares away competitors from going to that because they don't have this arbitrary stamp of approval that maybe does matter, who knows. So I think it needs to be up to the competition. And I do think there could be a balance of maybe overuse of certain muscle groups. Yeah, that makes sense. But I don't think it should be up to somebody else to review the program and say, hey, this will find the fittest or this won't find the fittest, because maybe I want to have a competition. I'm not necessarily worried about finding the fittest. I'm worried about finding maybe the best person, best.
You're out of time. You probably can't even see the clock on your phone, can you? No. Oh, well, there you go. All right. We've got rebuttals. Angelo fucking hates rebuttals. As soon as rebuttals, he just goes, I don't really have anything else to add. Right, you got 20 seconds to build on your own point or criticize someone else's. Adrian, you were making some beautiful faces when Nathan was talking. You got 20 seconds. Your time starts now. Off you go.
I just want to give an example. I did like 2 years ago Arnold's Classic in the UK. It was a one-day event, 4 events. It was super fun. And it was just, of course, with 4 events, it's hard to find the fittest, but it was an amazing event, amazing CrossFit event. And I think we should more see stuff like this.
Good stuff. All right, Nathan, you got 20 seconds. Off you go.
I think that's a really good point. I like to see people have fun more than anything else. People do most competitions for fun. It's still a recreational sport. If we look at the IFFF, I've been with athletes to the IFFF competitions. It's very standardized, and it takes away like some of the excitement of knowing what the unexpected of a workout. So allowing the unexpected.
You're out of time. Okay. Angelo, you got 20 seconds. Time starts now. Off you go.
I like the unknown and unknowable more than anybody else, probably. So I think that needs to be very important to the test. And I like leaving it as a grassroots sport where the people can choose the programming for their own competition.
Good stuff. What did you call that competition, Nathan?
The IFFF.
Is that the IF3? Is that how it's written? Like?
Oh, well, I've not paid. I took athletes there. I went with athletes there before. So the way I learned it, or it was said back then, was IFFF, but maybe it's the IF3 now because they simplified it. But
I don't know. I read the logo as IF3, but IFFF.
Well, if I read normal English, I'm slightly dyslexic, so therefore I screw that up as well. So that's probably why.
When you said that, I almost took a big shit all over the IF3, and then I was like, I actually don't know them, so maybe I'll just leave them alone. Say again?
Watch yourself.
Yeah, can't take a shit. Nathan got this. Okay. Really good points. all around. Adrian, purely early bird catches the worm there. Yourself and Angelo made great points, but just you made them more succinctly because you got to make them first. Angelo kind of fell across himself when he realized all his points were gone. I like the idea of, I like the notion of a competition just saying, this is how we're doing whatever this year at this competition, and people just have to adapt. I like that. Not in the, I don't think in the CrossFit official CrossFit season, but I like the idea of like Wodapalooza saying, hey, this is how we're doing handstand push-ups, deal with it. I think that once there's a logic behind it or a reason behind it, whatever. All right, second round. So Adrian's on 2, Nathan's on 1.5, Angela's on 1.5, or 1.5. Our second question, the Tyr Cup is going to be on in Wodapalooza SoCal, Huntington Beach, next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They've just released a schedule today. I'll be there. Come say hi. The teams have been announced. A lot has been made of the fact that North America, some would call it stacked, up against the rest of the world team. My question to you guys is, will the Tyr Cup at Wodapalooza be a bloodbath? Are North America just going to dominate? Nathan, you're up first on this one. You got 60 seconds. Time starts now. Off you go.
If I'm on all list, I tried to find the teams. I couldn't find the teams, but I was taking your word for it. It was heavily stacked to the American side. But if you look across most of the CrossFit competitions in the past, Europeans have been super dominant and super strong. And if you look at the international side, I think that always international do really well. Maybe it will come down to workouts and specific workouts. Looking at the workouts that are there, they're well-balanced tests. So if they are heavily balanced to the American teams, then potentially a whitewash. But I think that the unity of international working together will be able to actually win some workouts and put it back because they work better as a team, because they got points to prove all the time. If you're looking at the CrossFit Games over a long period of time, everything CrossFit, I know that there's other people within CrossFit who wanted to see CrossFit Games held internationally somewhere different, and it still hasn't been because the Americans just want to keep it over there. So I know that the international team will be solidified and do well.
Cool. Teamwork. All right, Angelo, you got 60 seconds. Did you find out who's on the teams, Angelo, before we start?
No clue.
Fuck off. Why didn't you ask?
I don't
Fucking idiots. All right, you got 60 seconds. Starts now. Off you go.
Listen, the reason I didn't, I don't need to know the athletes is because it's very simple. The USA is the best there is. You know, it's hard to touch anything we do on any level. This is very, I have a lot of weight on my shoulders right now, being the only American in this right now. So, yeah, I think America runs away with it, and I'm gonna just have a moment of silence for 9/11 for the rest of my time.
Jesus Christ. Okay. I see. I've got 25 seconds to find the teams. So let's see if I can find the teams in 25 seconds. Oh, found them. Fuck, you guys are fucking idiots. Honestly.
I looked on the website and I looked on social media.
Well, you didn't look very hard. And it's also the fucking thumbnail of this show is the teams. Fuck's sake. So North America, Daniel Brandon, Vellner, Lowen, Adler, Pepper, Rolf, Medeiros, Raptus. Rest of world, Toomey, Goodmanson, Sayer Kea, Guy Marieros. Oh God, I really wish I could remember his whole name that we put on Rogue. Anyola Kai, Grace Walton, Brent Fikowski, because he was in Australia on holidays once. I know he lived there. And Emma Tall. They're the two teams. So reddish purple at the top is rest of world, and the bottom is USA. USA. Oh, well, and Canada. Do you stand by your remarks, Angelo?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not going to change after seeing this.
All right. Just so we're clear, I found that within 25 seconds. You guys had a week or whatever, 2 days that you couldn't find it. All right, Adrian, you got 60 seconds. I know Adrian knows the teams because he texted me and asked me, hey, just out of interest, like the minute he saw the email. All right, you got 60 seconds. Adrian,
Well,
just now. No,
just
Time starts now. Go.
Let's go. Just to clarify, I saw the teams before, but I was wondering how the hell they made this team world. Like that they didn't found other athletes than this. That was my question. I think it's pretty clear. I don't think the question is who will win. I think even with teamwork or not teamwork, like there's so much individual class in the American ones, so they're gonna win. What my point is more, what is interesting is like we are now 3 guys here, and 2 out of the guys don't give a shit who's on the team, and that's what is very good to see for everyone who thinks right now we don't need CrossFit to organize competitions. We have a lot of other competitions. You can clearly see that if we lose CrossFit as a competition or as a games, we are fucked because there's no one really cares about. Yes, there is Wodapalooza, there is Rogue, but people just clearly different, and people also athletes show up differently. Like if CrossFit would have organized, I love the model, I love the idea they have, but you can see because there is a sponsor behind, a lot of athletes don't show up. Like
yeah, I should have muted you earlier on. I'm going to this event. All right. We've got 20 seconds rebuttals. Nathan, you know the teams now. Hopefully you remember them all. So you got 20 seconds. Your time starts now. Off you go.
Potentially, it can be viewed as an American organization that has organized the teams in the bias to ensure that there's a win for USA, potentially.
Conspiracy.
Yeah. Yeah, Team USA look like they can win that, sure. However, I think there's many international athletes that have been.
And you're muted. Angelo, you got 20 seconds. Time starts now. Off you go.
USA will win.
Do you know what? I actually genuinely expected you to start humming the national anthem. You're also forgetting that there's like 3 Canadians on the team, but yeah, okay. Okay. Hey, Adrian, you got 20 seconds. Your time starts now. Off you go.
Yeah, I forgot what I wanted to say, but I think I made my point. I'm just sad I think this format could have been really cool and very interesting, but I think it's going to be very boring to watch because, yeah, the class is so much better on one side.
Yeah, okay. Probably didn't need to put in that last bit. You could have just said.
Does it not look like Grid League but without the high school movements?
No, so it's done like, so there's going to be all different workouts. So like say there'd be one where it's like Hunger Games where you put your tribute forward. So like one person goes and does a workout. Then there'd be one where it's done in the style of Miami, like teams of 3 male or 3 female. Then there'd be ones where it's like the old invitational team of 6. Then there's the one where it's going to be the games team 2 and 2. Then there's one where it's going to be pairs, I think. And then there's one where it's going to be everybody does, like everybody, you know, like a waterfall style or something, I guess. Look, guys, it's going to be fucking cool, right?
Are you biased? Did they pay you?
It's going to be cool, okay?
Okay.
No, I actually genuinely do think it's going to be cool. I think the timing is shitty. As in, I don't think, I don't mean like the time of year. I just mean the time, like with everything that happened, it's just a bit shit. And it's a bit hard to kind of get people excited about stuff. And they had to skip like 4 beats in the lead up to it because of everything that happened. And then everything's so weird that they're like, oh, do we promote it or just kind of not? Or what do we do? So they just stuck between a rock and a hard place. I think if this can be a success, it can turn into like what the Invitational used to be, which was really cool. And if they can make it into that, and it doesn't have to be like rest of world versus North America, it can start becoming Canada versus USA versus Europe, or they can morph it and stuff. And yeah, they are paying me, Adrian.
I think it's a really
I hope so. I hope a lot. But I just
Adrian can go.
Okay.
No, I just have a question. Like I said, you will never have the same as Invitational because you will have athletes as long there is a brand involved, they will not show up because they're not allowed to. So, like I said, if you want to make something happening as big like this or having the best athletes, it has to be like a neutral party, and that was CrossFit is. So, like I said, I love the format. I think even like USA against the world could be really cool with the best athletes. Like if you put the best athletes out of rest of the world in the team, I think it would be a very equally team. But like I said, I see some names in that team world, and I'm like, who the hell? I don't know how they got in there. Like,
I think it's a really cool concept. I think the timing of it is actually the best it could be. I agree with Adrian about like the sponsor thing and stuff like that. Like you're never gonna get the invitational per se in out of the game season, I guess, like with a different company. The idea of like having different players that you can use different spots is a cool concept for an out of season competition, because I would not like that in competition to a certain level, because then you have certain athletes who have done more of other work and they're fresher for other stuff, and like you can game it a little too much. So I do like the format. Like, it's cool to watch. It's kind of cool to see, like, okay, who is the absolute best at this workout and who has the absolute best team at this workout. It's kind of a cool idea, but yeah, it's not going to be as perfect as it could be if it was part of the game season.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, I don't know. I agree with I guess the thing with the athletes, like Ricky was meant to be doing it. Roman was meant to be doing it. Both of them are, I mean, prioritizing Rogue, which like makes sense. And also injured after the games, or nursing, niggles or whatever after the games. And I think prioritizing Rogue, like if you're at that level, whatever competition is coming before Rogue, you're a fucking idiot if you're not prioritizing Rogue just because what's available there. But yeah, I think it could be something cool. And it's
the venue looks amazing, at least in pictures.
Yeah, there's actually a live.
That's really cool.
I don't think I'll be able to find it now, but there's actually a live feed. So Huntington Beach have a live thing, and you can see the rig being built now, like currently, which is cool. I
have a question.
I'm not going to sit watching it, but
do they have also? Is there also elite competition, like individual, going on, or is this the main event?
So there's this, and then there's not an elite competition, but like an RX, like not an elite, like quarterfinals level-ish type.
Not like semifinal level.
Yeah, it was probably like the RX in Miami, which would be like borderline semifinal level, wouldn't it? Yeah. So anyway, you can watch the Tyr Cup on the Loud and Live YouTube channel next Thursday. And Adrian, you might see a familiar face hosting things there. You might see someone that you recognize who's just tried to protect the venue or tried to protect the event for the last 3 minutes, might be hosting things there.
Okay.
All right.
Watch it, guys. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be super interesting. You should definitely
Great. There's the trailer.
I'm excited. I'm so excited for this weekend.
Have you packed your factor 50 for that Irish skin?
No, not yet. I will say though, the thing about the sport is, and I'm not saying this is what you guys are doing, but it is really easy to shit on something that's new or starting or whatever, and then it just goes away. And then it's like there used to be a record store in the town that I live in, and I drove past it every day being like, oh, that's cool. Never went in once. And then when it closed, fucking bullshit, that's closed. And I never went into it once. And it's like people complain about like, oh, the fucking stupid idea, that's never going to work. And then it does, like, it stops because no one goes to it. And then people are complaining, oh, those fucking idiots started that event and like they gave up. It's like, yeah, none of you fuckers went to it. Like, nobody promoted it. And I was talking to someone yesterday who made a really good point of saying, this probably isn't the forum for this discussion, but anyway, they were saying that it gets to a point where athletes, so say like the athletes that are promoting the Tyr Cup, right, are the athletes that are going to it because they're whatever contractually obliged by Tyr or Wodapalooza or both or whatever to promote it as part of going there and fighting it out for the prize money, and maybe they're being paid to go there, I don't know. But then what should be happening is athletes that are not going to it should also be promoting it, because if that competition continues, it's fucking good for them next year if they get an invite, if the competition is bigger than it is this year. Same with like Rogue, same with fucking FitFest or Miami, whatever it is. If you're an athlete and you're competing, you should be promoting all the competitions because it's for your benefit, like the greater good type thing, where it's like, all right, I'm not being paid to go there, but it's probably good for my career if more of these competitions sprout up and grow.
I'll promote
it. I know.
But go first. I have one more thing to say.
I'll promote it if I get promised an invite next year.
Okay, I'll work on that.
You know what's the best advertise? Make an interesting competition. Like,
yeah, so
that's
watch
what was
it,
my point.
Yeah, you come at me next week.
And after event, I will text you after event too, as like, fucking, it's done. It's already like shifted together,
No,
Like,
well,
I'm
you've
not
got the
against
lift.
I'm not against the product. I
Tia's going
love
to
the
win the
product.
female lift. Guy is going to win the male lift. So that's like whatever, 100, 200 points or however they're going to score it. So straight away. Anyway.
So they win one event. And the one
two.
Tia is doing individual probably. So they win 2.
Yeah, there's 3. And if she's on a pair, she'll just drag the other fucker along with her till she crosses the finish line. Okay.
So we already know the result. They win 2 events.
Adrian, shut the fuck up.
The
Okay.
rest
So
goes to USA.
last topic. Who could replace Dave Castro? So there's been a lot of talk again. PFA have demanded Dave Castro's resignation or removal or whatever. There's basically a split, probably not down the middle of CrossFit, but there's a split within CrossFit of people saying he needs to stay and other people saying he needs to go. There's been a lot of talk about, well, anyone can program the games. And then there's been a lot of talk about, if you think that's all that Dave does with regards to the games, you're a fucking idiot. So there's basically 2 camps and then multiple little encampments within those camps. Angelo, you're going first on this one.
No points. What's up with the points?
Oh shit, sorry. I actually did update the points, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, I did. Angelo's on 2 because it was just too patriotic. Nathan's on 2 and Adrian's on 3.
Is it shit?
Yeah, you were both shit.
Thanks.
And Adrian was like Adrian was less shit.
Well,
you
I
just
just
talked
shit in
about
the
USA. Every good point that you made was outside of your time. Was when the timer was over and the scores were already typed in. All right. Anyway.
So good. Everyone.
Last 60 seconds. I'll give you a bonus point at the end if you praise Wallapalooza again before the end of the show. All right. Angelo, you're first. You got 60 seconds. Who could replace Dave Castro? Your time starts now. Off you go.
I don't think anyone that we know of right now can replace Dave Castro. His track record's too long of having really good tests. Yes, I do think that there are times that he misses, and I think every programmer has those times. He has done it for so long and has had so little misses in his time that it's really hard to discount all of the work that he's done up to this point. And obviously he's grown the games to this point. I don't think that I could name a single person who could replace him. I think there's a team of people out there who could possibly do maybe as good of a job programming, maybe. But I think the history that we have between the only thing we've seen is Adrian versus him, and he's just done so much better than him. So up until now, I don't know of anybody that could replace him. Maybe I would have changed my mind if I saw other programming for like 10 years of competition.
Okay. All right, Adrian, you're up next. You got 60 seconds. Time starts now. Off you go.
Fikovsky. No, I'm just kidding. No, I have coached myself for the last 8 years, and I always looked in under programs at how other coaches program. And there's one guy who absolutely wrote the best CrossFit workouts, not lifting and not endurance, but CrossFit workouts, and that was Froning. And I would love to see Froning actually like programming the games with Castro together, like having the 2 insights together. And I think Castro needs someone he respects, and I think he respects the hell out of Froning. So I think that combination with the visualization of Castro, how it plays out, and the programming mind of Froning, I think we could see like crazy games. Point.
Angelo, Adrian gets my point again. He's like, fucking hell. He wasted about 40 seconds of his time in the last round. Now he's typing in the comments. All right, Nathan, you've got 60 seconds. Your time starts now. Off you go.
I really like that last point. I think that if Dave was being forced to go, then the replacement needs to come in for consideration of the real test of CrossFit, like we were speaking on the first question, the real test of CrossFit being spread across all domains. Whenever I do seminars, I always get the question in terms of programming for CrossFit, for boxers, not for athletes, but for CrossFit. So I always say to follow CrossFit.com until CrossFit screw it up a little bit and start adding in Ben Smith to do 16 workouts in one session for them to not do CrossFit anymore. Where if you look at the original archives of CrossFit doing 1 workout a day, that's what it needs to be as a consideration. And the other best person I know doing that is Linchpin with Pat Sherwood. So therefore, potentially his consideration of programming to be brought in as part of a team. It can't be an individual person, but part of a team. And then you've got people who like Drake Slacky, where he was part of the European team for organization of regionals. He would be a great guy to be involved, whether it's programming, but organization side, he'll be awesome.
Good stuff. All right, Angelo, pause your typing there. You've got 20 seconds. Rebuttal. Shit. Time starts now. Off you
go. Though I do like Adrian's point, I do think it's hard for a team of anyone to agree on something. I think there's someone has to be someone at the head of it saying yes and no on the final decision, and I think Dave is that person to do that.
Okay. Adrian, 20 seconds starts now. Off you go.
The problem, the Froning is not really an option because he's working with a camp, right? And that, I think, is the general question. Like, you cannot bring in anyone who's working with any athletes because it's not already going great already, that stuff is leaking. And yeah. So that's the hardest thing, I think, nowadays. And that's why Castro is still a good option.
I don't know why you're talking about leaks. I think you mean early releases. All right, Nathan, you got 20 seconds. Time starts now. Off you go.
I think that the idea of using Froning was really good. Then potentially a board of athletes who are maybe potentially not involved in programming. So you could look at things like, I don't know, like Spieler, Dan Bailey, like different people who potentially aren't involved in programming for individuals or who aren't competing with athletes to become part of a team.
Cool.
It's not a league when everyone knows it, right?
Yeah, true. Extra point for Adrian for the rebuttal. Thank you, Angelo. Angelo, that's the first 2 times you've ever fucking commented on a show, and it's a show that you're on. Fucking bullshit.
Well, I had to pull the comments up so I can attack people in them, and actually, they're all it's really good.
Yeah, that is actually
I don't
largely
even see
supported.
comments.
If you click, are you on your phone or laptop?
Phone. I think when I click it, then I don't see you guys anymore.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I prefer see your faces.
My phone's on my laptop, so I'm looking at the comments and typing on my laptop while I'm on the phone.
Impressive.
Multitasking. Yeah. Okay. So Adrian wins on 4.
Yeah,
Angelo's on 3.5. That last answer was great. I almost did take points off you though, because you made a great answer in your 60 seconds, and then you spent your 20 seconds saying how your 60-second answer was actually bad. And I was like, I'll just stick with the 60 seconds. You're like, oh, it should be Froning because of this, and this. Now, obviously, it cannot be Froning. Yeah, all Rich really needs to do is just hand the reins of mayhem to Angelo and Rory, and then sail off into the sunset and take over the programming himself.
He'd
Perfect.
be so fucked.
And a record drop in stocks and shares of mayhem.
Yeah. Week.
All right, Adrian, congratulations. I think I know what you're going to talk about for your 30 seconds.
Oh shit, I forgot about that.
But do you want me to just do it for you then? Because I actually have an idea of what you might like to
do
talk
it
about.
free. Go for it.
I don't know if there's... Yeah, okay. So Adrian... Oh, fuck. Hang on. Sorry. Adrian is launching his own programming.
Oh, yeah. So guys, if you guys not happy with Mayhem Athlete, just switch over. It's totally fine. I totally guys take you.
So it's called Never Weekend Club, and you can find it. It's just at Never Weekend Club. It is launched. What fucking date is that? 7th of October.
7th of October, yeah.
Sorry, I had a brain fart. I was like, is that the 10th of July? Is that not gone past? Okay, so 7th of October, it's releasing. And I saw you answering questions on this the other day. What is there different tracks, or is it like a one a day thing, or what is it?
Well, there's a one a day track. Then there's a competition track, like for people like reaching probably most for semifinals, and games level, like literally what I used to train for the last 8 years, like volume wise. And then there is also going to be like a pure strength conditioning version, something like where you take off the skills of like CrossFit typical, like you won't see any pistols anymore, you won't see any kipping. So really like a lot of strict stuff, a lot of pure strength conditioning. How I'm going to train once I fixed my career as a done. Haven't done it yet. And then there's and then there's also going to be, like I said, I always loved the most to see what was Rich doing. Like Mayhem Athlete was fine, but what was Rich doing was really like helped me over like the years. I always took inspiration there, and I want to share that too. Like just showing people what I'm training day by day, because I get a lot of requests, actually, people asking, hey, what are you doing? Just even out of interest, a lot of people just want to see what I'm training or how I'm training. So I'm going to release that too. So it's going to be 4 tracks. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, good luck with it. And you're doing a
Thank
seminar
you.
in Brazil this weekend, Nathan, yeah?
Yeah, I'm in Brazil this weekend. Coaching development seminar in Brazil, Sao Paulo this weekend.
Guys, do you think there's a fire? Do you think that's where Angelo went?
It could be.
Probably a fire at
Oh.
the station.
Someone in
Imagine
the
he jo-
local area was watching. They
Or
just
they-
thought they'd call one in.
in the toaster in the kitchen. Imagine he called back in from the truck with the sirens. He's like hanging off the back of the truck. I just want to make a rebuttal. Adrian, you're back next week. Sorry to break it to you. Same time with Haley Murillo and Brandon. Look at Nathan. Thank you very much. Angelo, good luck if you're fighting a fire. Thank you everybody for watching. Good luck and God bless. And